I was born with cerebral palsy. Now, this is something that I don't talk about very often. Most people who know me currently do not know that I even have this disability. I was born with it, and it affects your balance, it affects your hand coordination, it affects your learning ability. A lot of people with cerebral palsy, they are in a wheelchair and they have issues with speech, with talking, with walking, and I was blessed to learn how to overcome a lot of these obstacles. I remember back in elementary school, back when all my friends were going to uh, going on lunch during school, I was going to special classes to learn how to walk and how to talk. I remember having to learn, have my muscles learn how to put my weight on it and how to balance. I remember having to learn how to talk and not drool at the same time, and things that were very just easy for everyone around my environment. I had to take a lot of extra time just to learn how to uh, communicate with others. And this is something that I have had a hard time with in my life. It's something where I've I remember back in school I had a harder time learning. So we would have assignment for class that we would have to do some homework, and it was roughly like 45 minutes an hour's worth of homework, and all my classmates would get it done in 30 minutes or so. And I remember many nights spending 5 or 6 hours on that same assignment trying to understand it, trying to uh, figure out the questions. And so at a very young age, it was very evident to me that I was different than my surroundings. That I, I think I felt a little unseen at times because no one really understood what I was going through. I remember one day we were in class and it was our job to stand up for 15 minutes and read in front of the class. And I remember my my classmates, they did so well. They were able to say complete sentences and they were able to read every single word on that page. And I remember getting getting up there multiple times in front of the whole class. And I would just stand there and I would look at the piece of paper and I was not able to pronounce or articulate any of the words on that page. And so I would scramble through my words and I would ask for help. And I remember 30 seconds, a minute in, I was getting nowhere. Everyone could see that. And it was humiliating. I remember multiple times my face just becoming cherry red, just completely red, full of embarrassment of just how hard it was for me to keep up with the pace of everyone around me. And I remember being pulled in to teachers' offices and they sit down and say, like, you're just not understanding this. I know that your cerebral palsy and your disability has been something that you've learned and you've grown through, but you're still just not able to keep up with everyone. And so, over and over, that cycle had started to replay. In high school, for instance, I remember sitting with my principal, and I had just started a Bible study at my campus, and I was so excited for that. And he was too. I remember complete honesty in his words. He said, "Stephen, you're just an amazing man of God, but I just cannot see you doing well in school. Like, it's just so hard for you." And I, I think that was extremely challenging to hear that from a principal, because I was trying so hard. I had learned to talk when I couldn't talk very well. I had learned to stop drooling while I talk. I had learned to pick up my feet and not drag my feet and not trip, and how to balance and figure out balance in my walk. And I learned how to do many things, and it just it just did not feel enough. So as I went through life, I kind of started to bury the fact that I had this disability, because every time I showed it, and every time it came out in my words, in my stuttering, in my slowness, I was quickly criticized for it. And I remember even just recently, within the last 5 years, I had a friend, a close friend, say that he wanted to stop being friends with me because I processed too long. It took me too long to process things in life. And so I really had to learn how to internalize this grieving of just not having anyone to talk to about this. And everyone just, when people just get life and they just never have to deal with the things that someone has to deal with cerebral palsy, they don't understand. And that's a really important part of the picture, is that not too many people understand what you're going through unless you share it. And I remember I just had to really surrender it to the Lord, and just constantly and daily surrender. You know, at my current job, I I've worked there for 5 years, and almost all of uh, my other employees, they have passed me as far as leadership in my workplace. They got more raises and more promotions and more opportunities because they can go faster than I can, and they can process faster. And so I had to learn how to have heaven's perspective in such a worldly environment where day after day after day, this disability was like tripping me up and just making it hard to to do what I need to do and to stand up for myself. And I remember going to the Lord with this disability, and just talking to Him, remembering seeing pictures of myself when I was born, when I first got this cerebral palsy at birth, and how there was tubes everywhere the first 12 days I was born. And the Lord had to speak to my heart. And I felt like no one was there. And I quickly heard the voice of the Lord say, I was there. I was fighting for you. I fought for you so that you could live. I have never left you. I have never forsaken you. I am with you. I have a plan. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Look to me. Look to what I have for you and what I have called you into. And so that has been a huge part of what grounds me in these moments where everything around me feels like I'm the issue and I'm the problem and I'm not fast enough or I'm not good enough or I don't think quick enough. And I had to always come back to the foundation that God, He fought for me and He saved my life for a purpose and for a plan. I come on here a lot and I talk to you about God's plan for you, but I've never shared the details of my own struggle. And there's many, many more that I've not shared. But I want to speak to those who feel ashamed, who feel discouraged of whatever disability, whatever illness, whatever sickness you might have. Those who even just through the situations of life feel like they are unseen, they are unheard, and that no one can see them or hear them or really understand what they've gone through to get to where they are currently at. I just want to release the freedom of God's blessing over you, that you don't have to live in the reality of what everyone else thinks about you, but you can live through the reality of what God thinks about you. He loves you, and He has a purpose and a plan, and it's so unique to just you. And it is up to you to find that purpose. It is up to you to cultivate that purpose. No one else is going to understand, but you will, because He will tell you and He will show you. So I just encourage you to seek the Lord, to seek the Lord through all your struggles, and through whatever roadblock you see in front of you that no one else sees, but you see and you hit it time and time again. I just want to encourage you that God is bigger than that roadblock, that He sees all the steps that you have made, the courage in your heart to do what you need to do to keep going, that step of courage that no one else saw. He sees it. Don't forget the courage it took for you to keep going. Don't forget that. And so I just release the courage to find God's plan through the hard issues of life. For He loves you and He died for you, for your freedom, for the peace of your heart, to be fully His, to be full of joy in every moment. He loves you.